Welcome back to phase 2 of automating my outdoor lights. I have the same relay and same transformer as I had showed in part 1. Joining the party today is this set of connectors that I got from Harbor Freight. This made an appearance before when I repaired the line cord on the pool pump. There'll be a link in the prescription to that. Really all we need are 4 connectors that will fit on the bottom of this relay. And I just so happen to have those in here. It should be these. Yep, there you go. Just wiggle them on and they're all set. So we need 2 of them to start with. There we are. Let me just close that so it doesn't spill everywhere. And as far as this goes, I don't know how and where everything is going to end up getting mounted. Maybe even in the end. And, you know, I thought about cutting this wire right to the length that I would need. But if I did that and it needs to be extended further, which I don't think it would, but if I did that, you know, then what do I do? So I think what I'm going to do is I'm gonna save this connector because that's still a good connector, and we'll just cut it here because chances are if I had another wall wart that I needed to repair, it would probably have all of its cord on it. That's the guess anyway. It may not always work out that way, but the wires can always be extended. So we'll just snip that off right there. Put this in the hoard over there. And now we're all set. So now we have our transformer. Any excess wire will be bundled up with a cable tie. And now we have to split this wire, which sometimes you can do by hand. This doesn't appear to be one of those times. But that's okay. Let me just snip off just a little piece that I might have knackered there. And we can use our snippities to go in there and separate the wires. And they don't have to be too far apart because they're just going right here. So that looks good right there. Just about. What we're going to do is strip this. And this. One more. And twist these together. And we'll see, I may end up damaging one of the connectors and have to throw it out. That's alright. I got a bunch of them. In fact, a lot more than is in this because I used to use these relays and these connectors a lot on my old Chevy. So I still have a bag of those that I bought years ago. So with this, we'll stick that in. The wire can even go into the connector a bit, that's fine. Polarity, at least at this very stage of the game, has no bearing because it's not hooked up to anything and you could just turn it. But in this case, it actually doesn't matter at all. They sell crimpers for these things. I hate them. They suck. I use a big pair of linesman's pliers and just get on there and squeeze the ever-loving hell out of it. Ugh. Ugh. I really wrench on these things. Now, I have had times where it pulls out. This is not one of those times, so we're good. If it does pull out and you're using real thin wire, you can just fold the wire over, which I probably should have done, but it works, so it's fine. And if I can get that right in the same place, like that, then that'll work. not quite right, but it's, you won't see it. You'll find out why in a minute. And we'll squeeze this one down. Real good. Real nice and tight. Yeah, see, that one's kind of pulling out. I'll see if I could squeeze it any more. If not, I'll just redo it and double them over, which is kind of what I really should have done to begin with, but not for nothing it'll work this way because it's real low voltage in that, and I'm sure it'll make a good enough connection. Oh, that actually worked. So we're good. Excuse me. So here's the relay, and these two are power. The way you know is by going in this center plane. You see those are different. So the outside ones have to be the same. If you had it this way, they're not. They're at 90-degree angles to each other. So that's the right way. And just to do this, because I can put it up right now, you can put the connector on any way you want. I have always found just putting it on this way, I don't know why, I think it just looks cleaner. And then this one turned that way. But again, it makes absolutely no difference. Whoopsies. Let's try that again. Come on, there you go. This one's real tight. Sometimes you get that. There we go. So there's our connection. Everything's good. And now when I plug this in, the relay will clang on and off as I plug and unplug it. So there we go. Now we have to wire in to the house. So let me get everything reconfigured for that, and I'll show you what we're going to do with that. The first thing we're going to do is kill the breaker to that. Now, I don't know if I remember this precisely. I could be wrong, but I don't remember this brown staining on there. That's a little bit concerning, but not enough for me to take the panel off, even though it's only, what, 6 screws. Because it's only on the outside. There's no other evidence. It could have been from a prior thing. There was one time, a really long time ago, where we had some sort of torrential type rain, and I had a little water leak out of the panel, really out of the bottom. It rained so heavily that happened. You'll notice that some of these are marked. A lot of them have been moved around, so the labels don't make any sense. I have no idea which breaker that's on. So we're going to flip this one, because that's the one it's on, right there. I did this the other day to find out. I'm going to go and just turn the lights on up there to verify indeed power is killed, because otherwise I could be touching 120, and I don't feel like lighting myself up today. Yeah, that's definitely the one. In the 1950s, when this house was built, they wired stuff up so strangely, I can't even begin to tell you. That switch kills the outside lights. It also kills some of the outlets in the living room, but not all. I'm trying to think where that's plugged in. Oh yeah, it's plugged in behind there. It kills one outlet on one wall of the living room, but the other one is still live. It kills the digital picture frame and the big TV in the living room, but leaves the video editing rig just off of there on a separate circuit. But also the garage lights are on that same circuit. Like in the garage? Yeah, I can't figure it out either. This is how they wired shit back in the day. My parents' house, also built in the 50s, their master bedroom, at least the light, was on the kitchen circuit in there. Because when they had the house painted when I was like in the 5th grade, let's say 1989, the painters fucked something up with the ceiling light up in the ceiling there, and when you turn the light switch on, it would go and it would blow the breaker. And that was on the opposite side of the house. So they just wired shit wherever they could and whatever they could. I don't know. But it's definitely off. So I know I'm safe now. Alright, now we can do the actual wiring for the house lights. So this is only going to work if you're as crazy as me and you piggybacked off of your existing light switch for your outside lights. I know nobody else has that. And like I said, this is the way I'm doing it. I know it's a whole Rube Goldberg kind of like, what the hell are you doing with a relay? You can't hook that up to 120. This is not code. You can't. I know that. I'm fully aware of that. This is my house, and I can do what I want. I know that the wiring I'm doing is safe, so I consider it to be up to my code. If it's not UL, well, fuck them. That's all I have to say. Here's the wire. I know the wire is safe now. I think it's this. So it's kind of strangled up in here. And I got to pull it out. And I think it's kind of like stuck on the monitor. Like wedged in there. Yeah, that seems about right. So the idea is, if I can pull this up, or out. I guess not. Yeah, it's going. It's just stiff. Not wanting to go. Okay, I definitely have too much excess wire. Is that all right? Well, I'm not liking why the Romex is split there. That's a little odd. This is in the way. The old Digu clock. And it's got to go because I'm going to be using that outlet, but I can put it back after because I have another one here. So we got to get that out of here for now. That'll be just fine so it can fall. Yeah, I'm a little not liking the split in the insulation on the Romex here. I don't know why. That's kind of odd. Everything is insulated and perfectly fine. I think for iteration 1 that I'm doing now, we're going to leave it. This wire is too long. This is going to go up in the ceiling. I guess here is probably the best spot. How I'm going to get in there is a great question that I haven't figured out yet. Or that's even worse on that side. Somewhere up in here, I don't know what you can see, but that's where it's going to end up going. And I'm okay with that for now until iteration 2 ever happens, which probably never will. So we're going to leave everything well enough alone. I can pull off the tape flags. And now, let me go get my tools, clean off the cobwebs. Good, there's no voltage there. That's nice. And we're going to put the same connectors on like that. Hopefully I can get the camera angle about right when I come back, because I can't get it out that way right now. Alright, here's our wire, and here's our connector. Will it fit? Yes, it will. However, it's a little bit long. I don't want to shorten it for how much it's stripped. So we're just going to take our little snipperdoos over here and cut off. Okay, at least I know where that went. And that one. How do we do now? Still a little long. Whoopsie, turn that around. one wasn't quite as bad. For whatever that's worth, probably not much. That fits nicely now. The wire is coming just to the very top of the blue insulation on there. So that is just perfectly fine. We'll now get out the old pliers and give this a good one. Oh yeah. These I'm going to wrench down even more on. You moron. Ah! Great. Alright, well, I'm going to work on that. I got to squeeze with a lot more strength. So let me get those connectors on and we'll go from there. My videos are always presented in a real-world scenario. In other words, working on a car, I don't get to go to a commercial break, and when I come back, the engine and transmission is magically installed. There's a lot of things that catch. There's connectors you forget to hook up. There's a lot of stuff involved. Well, this is one of those cases where these connectors ain't going to work. I squeezed that as hard as I could, backed off the little blue guy there. So what we're going to do is try to use the Solder Master 5000 and solder those on. I don't know if it's going to work. We're going to try it because I don't know what other options I really have. I mean, I have other options, but I don't know what other options I really have. Oh, I don't know if I can get that plugged in. The old suicide plug is shorter. Okay, that should do. Yeah, we got juice. Alright, like I said, I don't know what's going to happen. We're going to find out. Probably going to drip solder right where I don't want it to drip. Move it there so it'll drip in a better place. We'll let this heat up for a few seconds. Doesn't take long as a gun, you know. It's heating up. There we go. Might switch hands. We're going to heat up this connector. There he goes. Well, that's the idea anyway. I'm going to play with that and see if I can get that soldered. And then once I'm sure those are on there, because there's, you know, I do janky. I am the safety third guy, but there's certain things where even I'm like, that's a little too sketchy. Success. If I hold the wire here, the connector is now one part of it. I can take it out of here. Same here. It's funny, I thought about doing this whole job with the power on, but I guess it's a good thing I found the right breaker, because I'll be handling these a lot more than I thought. So yeah, those are now soldered, and I should be able to slide these guys back up. I might have to just play with them with the pliers for a bit to get them to go back, but yeah, they'll go. It's a real tight fit, but I'll get it on there. I always win, you know. Okay, so we have the Blue Cross Blue Shield back on there. We have our relay from before, and we're going to hook up to this terminal and this terminal. Really doesn't matter which way it goes. I'm going to put the black on this one. And the white, I want to kind of get it turned around. Can I turn it? Yep, there we go. Like that. Ah, a little tight. There we go. There she goes. All right. So there is our control. All done. The relay is now hooked up. The only thing I have to do is mount it. There's a hole right in that. I can't show you. I got to get up in there and it's a whole mess, but it goes, it's going to go up there. I'll show you when it's done. I don't know how I'll get in there, but I'll figure something out, is all I can tell you. Now, there's not much light, but there it is. That's up there. It's tight enough where it's not going anywhere. I will run electrical tape around that. Not that anybody's going to get up here and touch it, but there will be live 120 volts there. Breaker is still off, so nothing to worry about with that. And I'm going to use this convenient outlet, although I might have to move some stuff, we'll see, but so now all we need to do is find a way to turn this on and off at the right time. And that is going to be the subject of Phase 3, actually automating the system. So I thank you very kindly for watching. I greatly appreciate it. Make sure you click like, make sure you click subscribe, and take care. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.